Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and today we are looking at indices mildly green in the pre-market session. But there's a whole lot of economic activity and data that's going to come out, which could give us more information. And I think the more I look at the economic data, the more the situation feels confusing. To me, it seems like the first wave that we are going to get after whatever is happening right now, something that is developing below, is a whole lot of unemployment. As you can see here, Google is announcing layoffs in its HR as part of cost cuts. And also by its very nature, AI is going to create higher efficiency and productivity per employee. Therefore, the number of employees will first fall before those employees get some new kind of job with AI where they are even more productive. So productivity for each company will go up, cost of production will come down, cost of goods will also come down, and this adjustment is going to happen over a period of time. I don't know how long it will be, but during this period of time, I think there is going to be churn. And welcome, hot dog. And when we have this churn, I think the markets, how it will behave, I'm not very clear about it. So that's the only thing that is worrying me at this point of time. If you look at the economic calendar, we have the core PCE coming in. If this comes weak, the stock market will go up. If it meets expectations or it comes stronger, the stock market will go down. That's my expectations. Around 8:30, we'll get these three readings, and we'll see what happens till then. Now, coming back to my original theme, what I am saying basically is that companies are going to cut jobs, especially the big ones, because they are able to deploy AI. A lot of investment has been made into data centers, and AI quality is improving. And right now we have multimodal AI, and soon we are going to have mobile AI, which means robotics, physical AI. So with all those developments ahead of us, I don't know how it's going to unwind, but it's going to mean higher productivity, lower cost for goods. So basically it's deflationary. Along with that, it's going to let go of a lot of employees, and those employees will have to find a new job in the new AI economy, and they have to reskill themselves. All of this is going to take a certain period of time. I do not know how the stock market will behave during this period of time. I don't know whether it's a 1 year period, 3 year period, 5 or 10 year period. So we are looking at an industrial revolution out here. So that's something that I would like our viewers also to comment about, because right now it seems to me that we are getting the lagging data from maybe a month ago. But what is happening at this point of time is probably a lot of loss of jobs, the federal job cuts, plus all those companies and contracts which were depending on the Fed, which will be losing or reducing their contracts, all of them put together. Even the share market, we have seen Palantir fall, AV fall. All of these were defense contractors, and the budget cut showed a lot of reduction in their share value. So I'm thinking that all of that is yet to come in future reports. And when those come in, we'll definitely be looking very bearish. So that's what I would like to say here. And then let's go on to look at the charts. So NASDAQ futures is absolutely bearish. And if you recollect, yesterday we had drawn a line of support at 20,664.25. We have fallen below that already. And this morning we are down 0.08. So the next stop is now going to be the 200-day exponential moving average, and that is sitting at 20,279.64. If you look at the MACD, it's absolutely bearish. Momentum still has got ways to go before it bounces off. In the past, it has definitely bounced off 30% on the RSI scale. But if you go a little further and look at the absolute bottom that it has ever touched before, I'm just not going too far into the past. I'm just looking at 2022. In 2022, it had gone all the way up to 24.53. So I'm thinking that That is a distinct possibility of happening, but I wouldn't be surprised if we bounce back from the 30. Now the PCE holds a lot of answers, and depending on the PCE, we might either bounce back. But if we did bounce back, our first resistance is going to be 20,664.25. And then the next resistance is going to be 21,006. So you can also expect a situation where we go up, touch that, and then we come down. So that's a possibility that we are starting to go down this way, especially in terms of the headwinds that I described at the introduction. So that's what I'm thinking. And having said that, let's go and look at S&P 500. In S&P 500, we are seeing that we have a support out here, and this is the box that we had drawn before, and our support is at 5,861.50, and we are just almost 20 points above that, 27 points above that. So are we going to drop below this today? So when I look at MACD, I think yes, we can definitely drop below this. And in the past, we have gone below the 30% mark on the RSI. And if I go back just to October 2023, 26th of October, we were at 27.86. So a 30% on the RSI is a distinct possibility. And again, it all depends on what happens with the PCE readout, and we'll know that by around 8:30, and we'll see whether we are able to defend this zone or if we fall below this. Now, if we did fall below this, then we have a gap fill out here that we need to do. So this gap fill is going to be the thing that we are looking for. So this is the gap fill that we are looking for, and that would take us all the way down to around 5,640 on the index. So that's what I think is likely to happen. The dollar index is continuing to go up, and we have a support now at 107.44. This eliminates a little bit of a risk of the yen unwind. So if you look at the USD JPY combination, so as long as this keeps going up, the people who have borrowed in Japanese yen and have invested in US dollars, they are still going to be viable and profitable. But when we start falling down, then we have a problem. And why am I saying this? Because if you look at this trend line out here, we have a bearish trend line, and I've drawn a rough trend line. It's bearish. So we are going down, and let me do another one out here. So we are on a downward trajectory. So sooner rather than later, you have the Japanese yen unwind coming in. And what confuses the matter even more is these tariff declarations. The tariff declarations are likely to make the US dollar much stronger, and a stronger US dollar would continue to have the Japanese yen trade continuing, and that could be a support to the markets. So this is the kind of dynamic situation that we are in, and I'm hoping that Trump would be much more careful with what he says, and Elon Musk would be a little more circumspect about what he is doing, because the whole economy, it seems to me, is on a cliff's edge, and we should not be rocking the boat too much, and we should take advice of some experts to make sure that we have a soft landing. But that is wishful thinking. Let's go ahead and look at the next one, which is the indicators. So Dow Jones, where did it end yesterday? It ended below our support of 43,294. So I think we got to mark this as a resistance now. So we have one resistance already. So the next support, where is the next support? The next support is at 42,913. Are we going to go to 42,913? Well, it depends on the PCI. And again, out here, we have a gap which we need to fill. So this is the gap. Can you see this here? So this is the gap. So we are hurtling towards that. So that gap fill is acting as a magnet. The second thing is that we have got a double top out here. And if you were to work out a double top, I think the drop would be much lower. We have a gap fill out here, and then we need the price to come down here, and after that there will be more, because that will complete the double top. So from a Dow Jones perspective, it's not looking that great. And then if you look at the MACD, it is bearish, and RSI still has room to be oversold, so that also is not looking that great. So at this point of time, all of a sudden Dow Jones is not looking that good. S&P 500 has managed to stay above our support of 5,841, and I think that it will still continue to perform the role of a support today. But we had a gap fill here which was mostly filled up by this long green candle, so I wouldn't worry too much about the gap fill as far as S&P 500 is concerned. So I'm okay with that. We already had a gap here that was filled up, so I think that there's a possibility that we could bounce off from here, providing the PCE numbers are okay. However, there is still room for the RSI before it gets oversold, and the MACD is bearish, so maybe a test of this support and then a bounce back. Let's see what happens. Russell index is down 0.14% in pre-market activities, and then it's already dropped below the support of 214.50. So I'm going to mark that a resistance. And then we have the next support at 209.97. So this is going to be our support for the day. And will it go there? Absolutely. There is a very good possibility that it could go there because we have a gap fill out here to be completed. So I'm going to put an arrow out here and I will show you the gap fill. So this is the gap fill. The gap is out here, which needs to be filled up, and we neatly stopped just at the top of the gap. So that's a possibility today. And we have RSI, which can go down all the way up to 26.17 on the scale, as it has done in the past. And MACD is bearish, so definitely for Russell index, that could be a possibility. Then NASDAQ. NASDAQ has got a support today. First support is going to be around 20,421. And then the second support is going to be at 20,352.79. That's my expectation. And will it go down further? Yes, it's a distinct possibility because we have plenty of room on the RSI. Out here, I have not drawn the absolute bottom up to which it can go. So I'm just going to plot that out here as a handy reference so that we don't get overconfident. Just going to adjust this a little bit. Oh, we already have that. We already have the line out here, which is at 23.09. So 23.09 is the level at which we will bounce back. So there is plenty of room on the RSI to go down. So I think NASDAQ might also have a little bit of downward action today. Of course, everything will change if the PCE comes according to expectations. We might kind of consolidate, but we'll see what happens out there. It's not yet 8:30. Put call ratio is neutral to bullish. I wouldn't say it's too bullish, but it's more neutral. VIX is up 0.47% and VIX is down 0.47%. And I think as long as it's about 20, I'm not very comfortable. So volatility is a bit high. Is it going to spike up further? We'll see as the day opens, because we have not had any big spike like this despite the markets falling. So something is going on out there, which we attributed to rotation between sectors. So right now, I think there's a very good possibility that we may have a sharp spike of the VIX. And with that, there could be a drop in the stock markets, and that could happen today. There's a distinct possibility for that. And then I'm looking at gold. Gold is dropping further to 0.71. It will have a support out here at 2,792.71. And again, PCE will determine which direction gold will go. And of course, we are seeing that the breadth of the market is reducing. So that's not a good sign either. And having said that, let's go on to have a look at genomics. Now, genomics, Verve has pulled out some spectacular earnings, I would say. I'm using the word spectacular loosely because in the earnings, they made a loss, which is much less than what was expected. They were expected to do a EPS of minus 0.675. They ended up doing minus 0.58. So it was a 14.13% surprise in the positive side. So that's a good thing. Revenue was expected to be 3.9 million. They came up with 13.08 million. Again, we can't put much stock to the earnings of these kind of startup genomics companies because it's all milestone payments. Nothing can be predicted. So what is suspect is the estimate itself is a suspect with these companies. And therefore, I think this is a nothing burger. And before we get too excited with the 11.94% jump that we see here, let me assure you that once the market opens, it's also going to come down unless the PCE readings are better. So be careful out there. Again, personal opinion, not financial advice. Now, Ginkgo Bioworks is down 1.50%. Chart is looking very weak. Caribou Biosciences chart is looking weak and it's going to come down further. CRISPR Therapeutics it's looking reasonably attractive right now, and it's hurtling towards the target of 42.84 in my opinion. And the chart is looking weak at this point of time. Pre-market, we are down 1.40%. Then we have Grail, which is also dropping in value. It dropped 10.45% yesterday, and today it has already dropped 1.36% in the pre-market trades, and it has fallen below the 21-day exponential moving average. And MACD indicates that there is a lot of bearishness, but momentum is still above average. But I'm feeling that based on the overall market situation and the way it looks right now, it might drop further. Again, PCE holds the key. Prime was down 4.72% yesterday. It's regained all the losses today. In the pre-market action, it's gone up 7.02. But pre-market is not everything. Hold on and be careful out there. Beam Therapeutics is down 0.44%, starting to look a bit weak. Momentum and MACD both are weaker. We still have support from the 200-day exponential, so I'll hold out some hope out there. Altimmune is down 0.16%, looking weak on the charts, but there is a little bit of a promise out here because of the picking momentum, and the earnings was not too bad. Again, it's all losses that we see here in the EPS, but the loss was better than what was anticipated. So that's all we got here. And especially pemvidutide getting into phase 2 for 2 other indications in clinical trial with the IND approval. That I think is a very positive news. So all of that should give us at least a little bit of a jump above the 21-day exponential. But I think the PCE and the overall bearish sentiment of the market is weighing down on this stock because it's a risk-on stock. So unless people are willing to take risks, the stock price is not going to go up. Bluebird Bio flat at 3.80. I still believe that it should close up at around $3. Allogene down 1.54%. Chart is getting weaker by the minute, and we still have a lot of supports. And mRNA is down 0.35%. Chart looking very weak. Further drops are possible. ARCG is down 1.39%, indicating the weakness of the entire sector. Further down values are possible. PSEV is down 0.68%. Intelia is down 3.50%. Again, chart is getting a bit weaker, but the momentum is neutral. We'll see what happens when the market opens. But pre-market indications are that bearishness will continue and that we are going to settle down below the 21-day exponential moving average. Then we look at Illumina, which is having serious problems because Roche seems to have come up with a device which is a competitor for Illumina. At least that's what Bernstein is talking about. But I think Illumina is a strong company. It's got a scalable range of products, and it continues its innovation, and the Grail overhang is already gone. So I'm expecting Illumina to do much better. I still think that it's only the Chinese hangover, and it's going to get a little bit more whooping today because Trump and President Xi are having a bit of a chat with each other, and the chat is not in a good vein. It's the 10% extra tariffs that we are talking about. So expect some kind of penalty for Illumina, and the stock could go down further. And we are already on the oversold area with 18.91 being the bounce off point. I wouldn't be surprised if we touch 18.91 again on the RSI scale before we go up. And this could present a very good buying opportunity for those who have got a long-term view of the market and who can invest money and hold on for a longer period of time. Right now, if you look at this, 88.97 seems to be a small it seems to be a small number out here considering where Illumina was in the past. Even if you go back just to somewhere around 6th of November 2024, it was around $154. So there's a steep discount out here, but $89 for a retail investor to buy 100 shares. I think it's still a tall order. So maybe a long distance call would be something that could be a substitute. Again, personal opinion, not financial advice. IMTX, no trades pre-market, chart is looking mega weak. Editas, flat in pre-market trades, continuing to drop. And I think today, based on the PCE and the overall market sentiment, it may probably try to come down, and it could probably stop at 1.74 today. That's what I'm thinking might happen. Iowa down minus 21.48% in pre-market trades. There must be some news out here. We have the earnings, which it did very well on, but let us look at the news. Iovance Biotherapeutics reported Q4 2024 product revenue of 73.7 million, and it's meeting its 2024 guideline. It expects 2025 revenue between 450 and 475 million. Maybe the expectations for the next quarter is not rosy. I'll have to dig into it. We'll check it out. Unicure is up 3.40%. I'm still thinking it's going to fill up this gap. It's doing it rather slowly, but it's in a bear channel. It's going to go down further. Vertex up 1.06%, consolidating nicely and staying on the bull channel. It would consolidate even further, and later on today, depending on the PCE, it may even test the 21-day exponential. That's what I have for genomics. Now let's go on to AI, which is my current area of interest. NVDA is down 1.37%, and in my humble opinion, I think NVIDIA is a beautiful share to have right now. And if we look at the PE, let me check the PE on another screen very quickly. Where is NVIDIA? Okay, so NVIDIA has a PE of 40.87. So that's pretty good considering the prospects for this company. And I have already started dollar cost averaging, so I'll be buying a little more of NVIDIA today. As soon as I get the opportunity, I'll wait for it to drop. Now, how much can NVIDIA drop before it stops dropping? Okay, so let's look at where we are in the pre-market. So we are at 118.44 right now. So the next support, it seems to me, is going to be range. So I'm going to take a box out here. Rectangle, and let me draw the box. This is my area of support, my friends. Let me mark this green and fill it up with a green color so that we know that that's the support. So I am thinking that it could go all the way down to 109.50 because it's already fallen below 21 and 200-day exponential moving average. Let us see if there is any other support line that we can potentially see out here. It could somewhere around 116 is another area where it may get a little bit of a support, but I cannot see it very clearly. But this range, I think, would probably work out. So I'm going to bat for 109.50 as the next support. And if you look at the MACD and momentum, it's all on free fall. So there is going to be further pain for NVIDIA before things get better. So that's the way I would like to leave it right now. And then let's go on to SMH, which is the semiconductor ETF, which is showing a drop of 0.01%. MACD is bearish. Momentum is also very low. So overall, I'm thinking that there is further pain in store for SMH. It could go down further. Again, PCE could make a lot of difference. AMD is up 0.04% in pre-market trades. And I have AMDS. I have shorted AMD, and I'm looking for AMD to go down further because there is no good news. There is no catalyst as such. And if the PCE report doesn't come out well, then it could go down further. So I'm sounding like a perma bear, but we still have room out here for AMD to drop to 26.43 on the RSI scale. We are just at around 30.03, and MACD is bearish. So I'm looking for further drops out here. And today I might probably sell off my shorts on AMD, and I'll wait for it to pick up again because it's going to move up and down on the way down. So that's what I'm thinking. And Intel Corporation is up 0.26% in this pre-market trade. And we have, I think, the MACD ready to cross over to the bearish side, and momentum is also below average. Pre-market I don't think I can believe this 0.22 gain. So I'm thinking that we are going to test the 21-day exponential today before close. SMCI is down 6.47% after dropping 15.97%. I'm stuck with SMCI. I was very trigger happy. I bought 100 of those. They are in a loss right now. I'm not going to realize my loss. I'm going to wait. We have a support here at 42.80 and we ended just above that, but pre-morning action is showing us that we are already below that and we have converted that into a resistance. I don't want to jinx this. I'm going to wait for the market open and then decide to mark this red. But right now I think that the next support is going to be somewhere around 36.50. And then we look at Qualcomm, up 0.77%, which is a decent gain, but it's below this diagonal line of resistance, and MACD and momentum both are not looking that great. And let us see if Qualcomm has fallen below the 30 on the RSI. Yes, it has. So it has been below, and I'm going to mark this out here as a support on the RSI so that we can keep track of that. And then let's go on to Google. Google is up 0.29%, but I'm thinking that Google, even though it's a good company in my opinion, is going to definitely test this support at 169.10 after having broken through this area of heavy support and buyers out there. Despite all that, it has dropped. So you can see that the MACD is very bearish and momentum has also dropped below the 30% level. And let's go and have a look at where Google has been in the past on the RSI. So I'm going to draw a line out here to show the support that we have. So we are very close to that. So probably we'll bounce off this support at 169.10 unless the PCE has something else for us in store. Then we go for Meta. It's up 0.53%. It's well within this diagonal line of support. MACD is looking bearish. Momentum still has got plenty of room to drop. So I think it could still drop further. It's below the 21-day exponential. It could drop to test this diagonal line of support. So I think that's what is going to happen with Meta, even though it's a strong stock. Its P's are also quite high. Let me tell you what the PE is for Meta. Let me look it up very quickly. Meta is at 27.62. It's quite attractive compared to NVDA. But Google has a much better PE than that. And if you look at Google's PE, it's 21.20. So the stocks are starting to look much better right now in terms of valuation. So a dollar cost averaging can probably begin at this point of time because the turn up could be much swifter, and before you anticipate, the prices may go up. Then of course we have Microsoft out here. Hi Inf, welcome. We have Microsoft out here up 0.19% in pre-market trades. It's already fallen below 399.89. I'm really happy that I would be able to buy this because if you recollect, I had sold most of my Mag 7 shares 50% when they were quite high, and then the rest also I sold to a good deal. So I've already started buying back Microsoft, Google, and Meta and Amazon. So I'm nibbling at them and dollar cost averaging down. So today I think I'll buy a little more of Microsoft because I think that it could find support next at 386.90. MACD and momentum both are in favor of that, and I'm going to draw at least this line out here as a line of support on the RSI scale from where we would bounce up, and that aligns with the potential drop that we could see here. Next we go on to Apple. Apple is down minus 0.09%. It's getting a good deal of support out here. So if it manages to bounce up this support, then it will be on this bull channel again. But right now the MACD is preparing to cross over the signal line to become bearish. Momentum is also dropping. We need the PCE numbers, and the 10% tariff talks with China between President Trump and President Xi is also going to have its impact on Apple. So I would find that the odds of Apple going down further today is much higher than it going up. Amazon is up 0.18%. I'm very bullish on Amazon stock, and I'm buying on weakness. I also bought a little bit of AMZZ, which is Amazon long stock. And the reason I've done that is because Amazon is in staples. Amazon has got the cloud revenue. Amazon has now recently introduced its own quantum chip. Amazon is all over the place, and it has got a lot of revenue streams. and I'm thinking that its revenues would be more durable even if we have a recession. So I'm thinking that I'm going to load up more on Amazon. So my portfolio will look exactly like it did earlier. It'll be Mag 5 heavy, at least that's the way I'm visualizing, and I'm buying them on the way down. And on the Canadian side, I have the REIT added onto it, and all of these in the Canadian CDRs. So that's my strategy at this point of time. Let's look at Tesla. I bought Tesla shorts, TSLS, and I'm thinking that Tesla is going to fall further. It's down 1.15% in pre-market trades, and we have this gap fill which is supposed to happen out here. So let me go back and pick up the arrow and show you where the gap fill is. So this is the gap fill that I'm talking about. There's a huge gap out here. I want to recalibrate the chart to show you what it looks like. So you can see this gap out here. So this gap has got to be filled, and the gap starts at 283.18 and the gap ends at 251.53. So in between we have a support of 268.87. MACD is bearish and momentum is dropping. It's fallen below the RSI scale of 30. And how low can it go? Well, I'm going to use my regular methodology and draw a line of support out here. I would say it can go all the way up to 17.08, and right now it's at 25.47. So all those things are possible, and after that gap fill is done, we have got another gap fill to be completed, which happens to be here, which was not touched upon for quite a while. So plenty of weakness in the chart out here, and I'm holding on to my shorts for a longer period of time. Then we have AVGO, Broadcom down 0.51%, ready to fill the gap as we expected. It's doing it slowly, but it's fallen below the support that we had here of 198.64. So I'm all the more convinced that it's going to do the gap fill. Next, Oracle is down 0.46%, unable to pick up. It's below the 21-day exponential, but it's still above the 200-day exponential moving average. Further drops are also possible. Again, PCE can make a change in the outlook for the market, and that could overnight change the complexion of the charts that we are seeing. But right now things are looking pessimistic. Palantir had a support at 83.68, and it broke through that support and it's come down to 80.38. So Palantir was very richly valued, and I'm thinking that Palantir has got to give up more of its value in order to be buy target, and in order to be in a position to start gaining market value, especially because we have seen the government cut all the budgets, and defense budget has also been cut. I'm going to show you what we have as the P by E for Palantir. It is 446.16 as of the close at 84.77. That's a very, very rich valuation. So I'm thinking that it's gonna drop further, and there is a lot of money to be made if we could short Palantir. I'm going to look for a Palantir short today, and maybe I'll buy that. So that's a trade idea for me today. Again, personal opinion, not financial advice. And Hot Dog is saying it's just falling with the whole market. Yes, of course, that's also happening. The whole market is reacting to a bunch of factors, and on top of that, Palantir and AV are reacting to the defense cuts. Budget cuts. Let me see Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin is positive. It's going up. Lockheed Martin is going up, and it has a gap fill that it is supposed to do. I would have expected Lockheed Martin to go down. I would have expected AV to go up and Palantir to go up, because modern warfare is going to be AI. It's going to be physical AI, which is AI-enabled drones, AI-enabled robots, those kind of things which are cheaper and easier to deploy as compared to the clunky tanks and fighter jets and those kind of things. So I'm really surprised. So I have to recalibrate my thought. I'm totally wrong in this area. So Hot Dog, you could be right that Palantir is just dropping based on based on overall market. So I'll be a bit circumspect about buying my shorts on Palantir, but I'll examine anyway. I'll let you know tomorrow what I have done. So I'm going to just remove Lockheed Martin from here. And okay, so after that, I'm going to look at, in file, I'll check it out. Let's look at ASML. ASML is up 1.35%, but with the geopolitical rift going higher, I think ASML will continue to show weakness. And Snowflake, after a blow up, is coming down further, and it's down 1.08% this in the pre-market trades, and it's trying to fill this gap that was created yesterday. So we can look forward to this gap fill happening today because MACD is bearish and momentum is below average, and the pre-market action shows bearishness. So that's what I have here. Yeah, Trump wants to cut defense spending, but it's the point I was making was I agree with you on that, but the way I interpreted the market would behave is opposite to what it is actually doing. Lockheed Martin is going up, whereas AV and Palantir are going down. So if there is no cause effect between the defense budget cut and the share prices, so it's a very confusing for me right now. So I can't think on the fly. So I'll have to spend half an hour thinking through this, and probably tomorrow I'll have some intelligent answers and something to discuss with you, Hot Dog, but you definitely make a valid point. Then we have a 964 Netflix, up 0.10%, but Netflix, I think it's going to give up its gains. There is a gap down which has to be filled up. And then we have Dell, which is down 5.66%, and we have this plenty of room on the RSI to go down. MACD is turning bearish, and we have really good earnings coming out. EPS has been improving, and Dell has also forecast a lot of AI server sales. So Dell has got a good future ahead of it, in my opinion, but the revenue surprise was negative 2.72% below, and the market seems to be reacting negatively to Dell's earnings report. It's down 5.83%, so it's likely to go down further. And then we have Rigetti, which is again falling like a bottomless pit. It's down another 2.49% in pre-market. Boy, oh boy, I made a very big mistake at the beginning of the year. It's going to kill me. And SMR, the other big mistake, it's down 6.88%. It's fallen below this diagonal line of support. It's fallen below the bull channel. So these two stocks are going to take away all the profits that I make this year and make me look like a chump at the end of the year. My God. And of course, AV is not too far behind, but I took profits in AV, half of it, and it's a very small position, so I'm not too much worried about that. Haynes brand was another missed opportunity. It's a bad call. It had a gap down which has to fill up. Even if the gap down fills up, I'll still be negative. So a lot of losses already on my portfolio. And let's look at what else we have here. So that's about it. Then let's go to currencies. I want to look at Bitcoin and gold. So if you look at Bitcoin, it's fallen down and it got support from 80,514 as we expected last time. And right now it's approaching the RSI support of 20.36. What it's going to do, in my opinion, is it's going to bounce off from here and then retest the support again, because we have a support here at 76,653, and I'm expecting it to move towards that because of the overall weakness that we are seeing in the stock market. However, if the geopolitical tensions clear out and if Trump takes back all these tariff talks in the last minute as we approach March 4th, if he says that, yeah, I'm going to postpone this to until April 4th, then those kind of things can give a relief rally and we can come back up again. Until such things happen, I think we are on our way down, and we have already met our reverse, our double top target of 78,943 momentarily, and we have come up. So that part of the forecast is already over, but that doesn't preclude the prices from coming down here again and going further down. So I'm going to wait on that. I think I'm bearish on BTC at this point of time. Ethereum is also down 7.64%. It nicely touched this diagonal line of support and bounced back. But at this point of time, if I look at the MACD history, MACD is looking bearish. And if I look at the momentum history, I think that we could fall down further. Oh, I already have a support line out there. So we can go down all the way to 20.02 before bouncing up. So I think there is further drops available for Ethereum. And how low could it go? Okay, so let's draw the next line of support for Ethereum. So I think this is the next line of support here for Ethereum. And this happens to be at 1,859. So that's the next support I can see for Ethereum. There you go. So that's all for the crypto. And we already touched up on gold. So that's all done. So that brings me to look at RKT. So let's go into the AI temporarily. Let us add RKT. RKT is rocket companies. I don't know what this company does. So it's going to be RKT on New York Stock Exchange. Okay, this is going to be a purely technical analysis. There is no fundamentals behind this. They do mortgages. Okay, sounds good. So RKT has got a gap down which it needs to fill, and it has this wick which is filling up most of it, but a little bit is left out. So that's one thing I can observe right away. So that could act as a magnet to pull it up, but not a very strong magnet. There is no gap up on the bottom side, so there is nothing to pull it down here. And if I look at the earnings that they had, earnings have been pretty good. So the earnings should give it a boost. And earnings came in on 27th February after hours. So today is 28th. The market is rewarding it with a gain of 6.47%. Looks fantastic. MACD had turned over and tried to cross the signal line. So I think that it's going to turn around from here. My opinion is that it's going to turn around from here. So let us draw a bull channel trend line. Okay. So if we were to take a trend line from here, I think I'll take this as a trend line because it touches on more of the points. So if we take this trend line and if we take the 21-day exponential moving average, there's a very strong support line out here. So it's going to jump up from here. So my prediction is that its next activity would be to jump over the 21-day exponential moving average and in the process create more higher highs and higher lows. So that's what I think is likely to happen out here. And do I have a price target for this? I don't know. I can't see any way to come up with a price target for this stock. So that's all I have. So hot dog and Inf, is there anything else you want to discuss or anything to talk about? Well, so I'm going to end this live stream today. Thanks for joining me, guys, and we'll meet again. So after this, I have a live stream for the HIV channel. So I've got some informations for them, and then I'll be starting my weekend and the homework. Take care. See you then. Oh, PCE is in 3 minutes. Would you like to wait a little minute and see the PCE happening? Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Hot dog and Inf, I'm going to hang on a little while because it's just a few minutes from now for the core PCE index, and we can have a little bit of gossip in the meantime or any intelligence that we can exchange. Inf and Hot dog, are you looking at any stocks at this point of time that you would like to DCA on? Or are you thinking that the market is going to bounce back today? What is TEM in the slangs? I am a boomer. Tempus AI. Okay, let me check it out. TEI. Let us do that while we wait for TEI. TEI. I don't find TEI here. Oh, TEM. TEM, not I. TEM. Tempus AI. Okay, let me look at this. This is good. Some new introduction. Okay, so right off the bat, earnings not that good. Okay, so that's something that I'm worried about. And I want to take my arrow from here and mark out this gap up that needs to be filled. So this is the second magnet that is pulling it down. We got the MACD, which is pushing it down, and we got the momentum, which is also dropping, and we don't have much history about Tempus AI out here. So I'm thinking that hot dog, you will definitely get an opportunity to buy it. For it to go below 45, I think you better wait a little more, because it could definitely go all the way down to 35.95 to fill up this gap if technical analysis holds true. I don't know the fundamentals. It seems to be a startup company. So that's what I'm thinking. Please let me know what you think, hot dog. ARC just bought a ton of it. That could also have influenced the price a little bit. If there was a weakness, that weakness was kind of contained by the ARC purchase. So if you are looking for a good value in terms of the technical, just purely technical, I think 35.89 is something that you would be able to, if you could snag it at 35 point, anywhere, even around 36 or 37, I think it will be better value for you. But again, it's personal opinion. So if it goes down to 45, you did not buy, and then it jumps up before going to 35, I don't want you to blame me. You will feel really silly following a guy on YouTube and losing an opportunity. So you exercise your own judgments. Let's go on to the economic calendar now. Woo! It's come above. That means it's supposed to push the markets down. So let's go and see what's happening with the futures. Nasdaq futures is going down, minus 0.5. Let's look at CNBC headlines. They would have some headlines out here. Stock futures rise ahead of key inflation report. Stock futures rose slightly on Friday as investors look at the end of a losing week. They still haven't updated their headline. So let us go and look at what the action is out here. It's gone down. It's improving. It dipped a little bit and it started improving. I was expecting that with higher inflation reports, I think the market would have dropped, because it means the Fed is not going to cut any rates. The 2 cuts that people are expecting is now going to become 1, and we are going down. So I'm looking at Nasdaq futures. Let us look at S&P 500. S&P futures is also, let us see. I should have marked out where it was before we started getting the PCE numbers. Both Nasdaq and S&P 500 seem to be improving. I could be wrong about this, but it seems like they are improving. So once again, I am proved wrong. What I had done was I had taken a chart like this, and if we had a weaker than expected PCE, the expectation was that S&P would be stronger, and if it bet expectation, S&P would go weak. But we are seeing something slightly different out here. It's flat at this point of time. Maybe market participants are just digesting the information. If you put this along with the tariff talks that are going on, it's very bearish. So what do you guys think? Why are you saying we are going down? I don't see the evidence of that, even though I thought we would go down. In fact, we are improving. Nasdaq also, yeah. No, you could be right. You might be a Nostradamus. You're looking at the future, and probably you're pointing it correctly. Let's look at the individual stocks and see. Our AI stocks will be more sensitive. So let us look at NVDA. NVDA is dropping further. It's dropping faster. Yeah. It seems to be dropping for sure. Let's look at AMD. It's looking okay. Anyway, I give up. FNGU is still positive. It's a 3x leverage, so we can see a magnified movement out there. Let's go back to the futures, indicators and futures. Okay, in indicators, let's look at QQQ and see what's happening out there. QQQ is still up, and if I look at the quotes out here, 501.25, 28, 29. I do not see any impact of this PCE reading out here. So we'll leave it at that. I'll go get my breakfast and we'll figure out what the market is going to do. At the end of the day, we are retail investors. We are not professional analysts. So this is as good as we can do. The other channel, the live stream is starting at 9 o'clock. Take care. See you guys. Bye for now. Have a very nice day. Make a lot of money. I think buying time is around. Dollar cost averaging, I think, is the way to go. See you then. Bye.